Do you have a black thumb? Well, if you're anything like me, then the answer is yes. But don't worry, because today we're going over 10 indoor plant mistakes to avoid. And after watching this video, you'll be one step closer to becoming a plant whisperer. Let's get started. Mistake number 1, overwatering. Are your plants drowning in water? That could be exactly what they don't need. When you give your plants more water than they can handle, you're basically suffocating them. They're not able to breathe, and the roots end up burning and dying. It's like trying to breathe underwater. Your lungs just aren't built for it. So how do you know if you're watering your plants too much? Well, there are a few signs to look out for. First off, if your plant's leaves start turning yellow, that could mean that the roots are getting waterlogged and aren't getting enough oxygen. If the leaves start wilting and drooping, even though the soil is wet, that's another sign that your plant is thirsty for air, not water. And if the stem starts rotting, that's a big red flag that your plant is drowning. So what's the solution? Well, it's simple. Just give your plants a break from all the extra water. Allow the soil to dry out between waterings and make sure the pot has drainage holes to let the excess water escape. Trust me, your plants will thank you for it. Mistake number 2, underwatering. On the other hand, if you're underwatering your plants, well, they're gonna get thirsty and unhappy too. You see, plants need water to survive. It's like us humans, we need water to stay alive and healthy. So when you don't water your plants enough, they can become dehydrated and stressed out. And that stress can show up in some not so good ways. The leaves might start wilting and shriveling up like an old dried up raisin. And if that happens, it's time to give your plant a drink. Stick your finger into the soil, and if it's dry, it's time to water. But be careful not to go overboard. You want to water deeply, but not so much that you drown your plant. Just find that happy medium, and your plants will be loving it. Mistake number 3, not enough light. Plants are like little solar panels. They use light to make their food. So if they don't get enough light, they'll start to struggle and not grow as much as they should. And that's not what you want. You want your plants to be happy and healthy. So how do you know if your plants aren't getting enough light? Well, here's a tip for you. If the leaves start turning pale or yellow, that means the plant isn't making enough food and is getting a little hungry. If the stems start becoming weak and floppy, that's another sign that the plant isn't getting enough support from its food. And if the plant starts leaning towards the light source, that's a clear sign it's searching for more light. So what's the solution? Well, move your plant to a spot where it can get more light. But be careful not to put it in too much direct sunlight, or else the leaves could end up burning and drying out. Find that sweet spot where your plant gets bright indirect light and watch it thrive. Mistake number 4, too much direct sunlight. We all know that plants love sunlight, but too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Too much direct sunlight can actually scorch and burn the leaves, kind of like getting a sunburn, and nobody likes a sunburn. It's painful, and you have to wear sunscreen after that. And plants are no different. When the leaves are burnt, they turn brown and crispy, and they might even fall off. So how do you know if your plant is getting too much direct sunlight? Well, it's pretty easy to tell. If the leaves start turning brown and crispy, then it's time to give your plant a little shade. If the leaves start curling up or wilting, that's also a sign that it's getting too hot for your plant. And if the plant starts growing really tall and leggy to try and get away from the intense sunlight, that's a clear sign it's getting too much sun. So what's the solution? Well, move your plant to a spot where it gets bright indirect light instead of direct sunlight. You can always move it back to a brighter spot later on if the leaves start looking pale or droopy. Just make sure your plant doesn't get too much direct sun and it'll be happy and healthy. Mistake number 5, using the wrong soil mix. Think of soil as the plant's food and water. The right soil will help your plant grow big and strong, while the wrong soil can make your plant sick and unhappy. If the soil doesn't have the right balance of nutrients, the roots won't be able to absorb what they need to grow, and the plant will end up looking wilted and droopy. It's like trying to eat a meal that doesn't have the right balance of nutrients. You might feel sluggish and tired afterwards. So how do you know if you're using the wrong soil mix? Well, here's a tip for you. If your plant's leaves start turning yellow or brown, that means the plant isn't getting the nutrients it needs to grow. If the plant starts wilting and shriveling up, that's another sign that the soil isn't holding on to enough moisture for the plant to drink. And if the plant starts growing slowly or not at all, that's a clear sign that the soil isn't providing the right food for the roots to munch on. So what's the solution? Well, it's simple. Use a high-quality potting mix that's specifically made for indoor plants. This will give your plants the nutrients they need to thrive and help them stay healthy and happy. Mistake number 6, ignoring humidity. Most indoor plants come from tropical areas where the humidity is high. That means they're used to lots of moisture in the air. But when you bring them inside your house, they can start to struggle. If the air in your home is too dry, the plants can end up wilting and shriveling up. It's like when you spend too much time in a hot tub. The skin on your face and lips can start to get all dry and wrinkly, and plants are no different. Their leaves can start turning brown and crispy, and they might even drop off. So, what's the solution? Well, it's simple. Just add some humidity to the air. You can do this by misting the plant with water or by placing a humidifier nearby. You can even put the pot on a tray filled with pebbles and water to help increase the humidity around the roots. Just make sure you don't overdo it. You want to keep the soil moist, not soggy. Mistake number 7, choosing pots without drainage holes. Have you ever seen a pot with drainage holes? These little holes are like the plant's SOS signal. They let the plant breathe and get some fresh air. Without them, the plant can end up suffocating and wilting. It's like trying to breathe in a closed room. It just doesn't work. Well, most indoor plants come in pots that have drainage holes. But if you're buying a new pot, make sure it has these little holes. If not, you can always drill them yourself. Just be careful and don't drill too big of a hole, or else the soil will fall out. So what's the solution? Well, it's simple. Just make sure your pot has drainage holes. This will help your plant stay healthy and happy. Mistake number 8, not cleaning leaves. Dust can build up on the leaves of your plants, blocking their ability to absorb light. And that can make them start wilting and shriveling up. It's like trying to look through a dirty windshield. You can't see as well. And plants are no different. They need clean leaves to be able to absorb sunlight and make food. So how do you know if your plants need a leaf cleaning? Well, here's a tip for you. If you can see a layer of dust on the leaves, it's time to give them a wipe down. You can do this with a damp cloth or by simply running the faucet and letting the water run over the leaves. Just be gentle and don't scrub too hard, or you could damage the leaves. And if you have plants with fuzzy leaves like a Boston fern, you can use a soft brush to remove any dust. Mistake number 9, fertilizing too much or too little. Plants need fertilizer to grow big and strong, just like you need food to stay healthy. But too much fertilizer can be a bad thing. It can end up burning the roots and making the plant all dried up and crispy. And if you don't fertilize enough, the plant will end up looking wilted and droopy because it's not getting the nutrients it needs. It's like trying to run a marathon on an empty stomach. You just don't have the energy. So how do you know if you're fertilizing your plants too much or too little? Well, here's a tip for you. If the leaves start turning yellow or brown, that means the plant isn't getting the nutrients it needs. If the plant starts wilting and shriveling up, that's another sign that the fertilizer is burning the roots. And if the plant starts growing really tall and skinny to try and reach the light, that's a clear sign it's not getting enough nutrients. So what's the solution? Well, it's simple. Just fertilize your plants regularly with a balanced fertilizer. This will help them stay healthy and happy. Mistake number 10, moving plants around too often. We all love to redecorate, but when it comes to our plants, it's best to leave them alone. Moving your plants around too often can stress them out and make them start wilting and shriveling up. It's like trying to study for a test while listening to a rock concert. You just can't focus, and plants are no different. They need a calm and peaceful environment to thrive. So what's the solution? Well, it's simple. Just find a spot for your plants and let them stay there for a while. If you do need to move them, do it gradually by moving them a little bit each day so they can get used to it. Mistake number 11, ignoring pests or diseases. Pests and diseases can cause a lot of damage to your plants, but with a little care and attention, you can prevent them from becoming a major problem. When pests or diseases are left untreated, they can cause the leaves to turn yellow or brown, the stems to become weak and wilted, and the roots to rot and die. This can ultimately lead to the death of the entire plant. To prevent this, it's important to check your plants regularly for any signs of pests or diseases. If you do find any problems, treat them right away with an appropriate pesticide or fungicide. Don't ignore the small stuff because it can end up being a big problem. Mistake number 12, not repotting. When your plant outgrows its pot, it's time to repot it into a larger container. This gives the root space to grow and prevents them from becoming root bound. If the roots are root bound, they can start circling each other and the plant will end up wilting and shriveling up. This can ultimately lead to the death of the plant. To prevent this, repot your plants every 1 to 2 years, or when you see that the roots are starting to circle each other. This will keep your plants happy and healthy. So there you have it, 12 indoor plant mistakes to avoid. With a little care and attention, you can prevent these mistakes and keep your plants thriving. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more gardening tips. And share with us your biggest plant care mistake in the comments below. We appreciate your support and can't wait to see your plant journey. Happy planting!